Right, today we're going to study the Naga Sota Sutta, the Elephant Discourse on the Listener, A5 140, the 5 qualities of a truly worthy monastic, or the true practitioner. This is from SD 46.9. Now this sutta is very close to SD 46.8, the chapter just before this. The title of that sutta is the Naga Sota Sutta, A5.140. The common word Naga here means bull elephant, the male elephant, usually the leading elephant. And in these two suttas, the bull elephant is a very special elephant. It's the royal bull elephant. It's the war elephant. So the Buddha is using this special breed of elephant as an analogy for the true practitioner. Now in the case of the Raja Naga Sutta, from the Book of Force, there are 4 qualities of the elephant and the 4 qualities of the true practitioner. They are the same 4 qualities which the Buddha uses to compare between those of a very skilled, brave, intelligent elephant and a truly wise practitioner. And those 4 qualities are: number 1 is a listener. The elephant is a good listener, obedient, so is the true disciple. The elephant is a destroyer, so too the disciple. The elephant is a forbearer, very patient, so too the disciple. And the elephant is a fast goer, so too the elephant. So this is just a quick overview. However, in this sutta, which is from the Book of 5, there is one additional quality. That's quality number 3. And this quality is that of a warder or protector, rakita if you like. So we have 5 interesting Pali terms here. So number 1, we have the term sota, meaning someone who hears well. That's the first quality. The second quality, the destroyer, hunter. The elephant destroys the enemies, the practitioner destroys negative emotions and defilements. And then number 3 is rakita, the warder, pushing away, protecting oneself. Then number 4, the forbearer, kanta. And number 5 is the goa, ganta. Okay, now we look into in some detail the teachings given here. I'm not going to talk much about the common qualities which the 2 suttas share. I'll just give a brief introduction, and then to each of those 4 qualities I'll focus on the new 3rd quality. Let us look at the sutta. Now if you have the text in front of you, you will notice there are 2 sections in the translation. The first section, section 1 to section 7, the subtitle is the Royal Bull Elephant Parable. And then the closing section from section 8 to the end of the sutta, the section 15, is about the monastic with 5 worthy qualities. Whenever you see the word monastic, you can, with some adjustment, apply those qualities to the true practitioner. The sutta begins straight away with the Buddha talking to the monks. Bhikshus, a royal elephant that possesses 5 qualities is worthy of the king of service to the king and is reckoned as a limb or emblem of the king. What are the 5? Here bhikshus, the royal bull elephant is a listener, a destroyer, a warder, a forbearer, and a goer. So those are the 5 common qualities of the royal bull elephant or the war elephant. And then later the Buddha is going to upgrade these ideas to something which is new, the qualities of a true disciple. Let's look at each of these qualities first. Section 2. And how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a listener, sota? Here bhikshus, whatever task the elephant trainer gives it, whether it has done it before or not, the royal bull elephant is receptive. The word here is atikatva. It makes it its purpose, pays attention to it, fully directs its mind to it, with ready ear listens to it. So this is the first quality. This elephant is very intelligent, it listens to the trainer. And notice the sutta says whether it has done it before or not, it will still be very attentive. So here the meaning is that when we listen to a teaching, whether we have heard it before or not, we still listen to it as if we are listening to it for the first time. If we don't do this, then we assume that we already know this, we have cancelled out the teaching. So, in other words, we don't really know that teaching, we've forgotten about it, we don't want to know about it anymore. It's like reading a newspaper, it's gone, we throw it away. And then when we remember we want to read an article as an important article, the paper is already gone for wrapping fish or made into cat litter or whatever. So that is the wrong attitude, right? So the Dharma must be listened as if we are listening to it for the first time, even we have heard it many times before. Dharma is like music, we keep hearing it again and we just relax our mind, so to speak. To relax the mind means to let go of distractions. Now the second quality, that is section 3, and how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a destroyer, hunter. Here bhikshus, when the royal bull elephant has gone into battle or is in the midst of battle, it destroys elephant and mahout. It destroys chariot and charioteer. It destroys the infantry. Thus bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a destroyer. So here of course we're talking about a very worldly situation. This is the king's war weapon, very powerful. In many ways, the war elephant was what prevented Alexander from invading and conquering India. Otherwise today we would be probably speaking Greek. So this elephant is a very powerful fighter. It's a secret weapon of the Indian kings. So this is the second parable. Then the third one, that is section 4, this is the new one. And how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a warder, a rakita, a protector. It protects itself.
Number 3.
Here bhikshus, when the royal bull elephant has gone into battle or is in the midst of battle, it protects its forepart and hind part, forelegs and hind legs, head and ears, tusk and tail, trunk and rider, right? So it protects itself all around afterwards, okay? And also protects the rider, the mahout. In the Ambalatika Rahulo Vada Sutta, the war elephant simile is also used. But there the elephant does something very special, which is not mentioned here. The elephant, when it's in battle, it puts its the tip of its trunk in the mouth to protect itself, to protect very sensitive part of its trunk, so to speak. And that also symbolizes being restrained in our senses. Okay, so then comes number 4. That is quality number 4, section 5. Now bhikshus, and how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a forebearer, kanta. Here bhikshus, when the royal bull elephant has gone into battle, it endures being hit by spears, by swords and by arrows, and endures the sounds and din of the beri, that is a conical drum, cymbals, conch shells, and the dindima, it's a small drum. All this, in other words, in battle they make lots of noise just to disorientate the enemy and so on. So this elephant is very calm, whether in the face of attacks by people, even weapons hitting it, the elephant remains calm, bearing pain, and even sound will not frighten it. It's a very steady animal. Okay, so this is quality number 4. Now quality number 5 is the last one, in that is section 6. And how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a goer, ganta. Here bhikshus, in whichever direction the elephant trainer sends the royal bull elephant, whether or not it has gone there before, it quickly goes there. This bhikshus is the royal elephant. Thus, bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a goer. Okay, so this elephant can travel anywhere, and it can travel very fast also. It is said that King Udayana, one of the kings, Chandrapajuta, I think, there's a very speedy elephant. This elephant can run really fast. So imagine in battle, this elephant is very powerful. A huge big animal that can run very fast. So these are the 5 qualities of an elephant, which the Indian audience would be very interested in listening. Their attention would be rapt in attention listening to this kind of instructions. And he also shows that the Buddha understands the nature of training of an elephant. Now the Buddha goes on to talk about 5 parallel qualities of a monk. Section 8. In the same way, bhikshus, notice it, whenever the Buddha mentions in the same way. So now the Buddha is going to link something which the world knows into something new, something spiritual, something worldly to something spiritual, something higher, something supramundane even. In the same way, bhikshus, a monk who possesses 5 qualities, is worthy of offerings, worthy of hospitality, worthy of gifts, worthy of salutation with the lotus palms, a supreme field of merit for the world. Right, so these are the qualities, 9 qualities of a monk, and these are actually the saints. They have all these qualities. But here, apparently it seems as if here, if a monk has all these qualities, then he is almost as good as the saints, in a sense of worthy of receiving support from the public, from the laity. They're not saints yet in the case of the unawakened, but of course in the case of the awakened monks, the saints, the streamers onwards, they would have all these qualities anyway. Okay, so then the first quality of a true disciple is that he is a listener. Section 10. And how bhikshus is a monk a listener? Here bhikshus, when the Dhamma Vinaya, the teaching and discipline declared by the Tathagata, is being taught, he is receptive, or he makes it his purpose, atikatva, pays attention to it, pay close attention to it, or is closely attentive to it, fully directs his mind to it, with ready ear listens to it. Now, this is the source of wisdom, by paying full attention. In fact, if you see the monks listening to the Buddha, or even today you go to a good training center of monks, the monks will be very calm, very still, listening to the teacher, even when it's a layman speaking. So, this ability to listen fully, without distraction, the phone switched off, with the mind, all the senses calm and ready to receive the Dharma. Quality number 2, that is section 11. And how Bhikshus is among a destroyer. Here Bhikshus among does not tolerate any sensual thoughts that has a reason. He abandons, dispels, destroys, makes an end of it, brings it to non-existence. He does not tolerate any thought of ill will that has a reason. So it's the first kind of negative thought, ill will, hatred, anger. The moment that thought comes, he pushes it away quickly. Same thing with thoughts of violence. Right? He pushes it away. So these are the 3 wrong thoughts. Sensual thoughts, thoughts of ill will, they're opposites. And the last one is thoughts of violence. Here means putting that anger into action, wishing someone destroyed, wishing someone killed, and so on. So these 3, if we practice them, practice removing them, that's called right thought. So this is the destroying negative thoughts. Now comes the new item, number 3, which is section 12 in the sutta. And how Bhikshus is among a warder, that is Rakita. Here Bhikshus among sees a form with the eye, he grasps neither its sign nor its details. So long as he dwells unrestrained in that eye faculty, bad, unwholesome states of covetousness and displeasure might overwhelm him. To that extent, he therefore keeps himself restrained. He practices the restraint of it. He guards the restraint of the eye faculty. He commits himself to the restraint of the eye faculty. So here we see the senses. It's obvious. The first one is the eye. So if you have a quick look, you find there are 6 sections. This teaching deals with the 6 senses: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and their respective sense objects: the eye, form, ear, sound, and so on. So here, the true practitioner, whether it's a monk or layman, will protect the eye faculty. Notice the word eye faculty, not just the eye. Eye faculty means the functioning eye, the conscious eye, the sensitive eye, the eye looking at this object, and the consciousness present there, and we're aware of what's going on. So here, when form comes to the eye, in other words, here, let's say a monk sees something which is not really important, or rather a distraction, he will at once let go of it. So here, this sutta explains the meaning of let go of it. He neither grasps its sign nor its details. What does it mean? Here, it's just, let's say, if a monk is not restrained in the senses, let's say a pretty girl walks by, and what he sees, the shape of a woman, that's called the nimitta, the sign. The moment he says woman, the concept woman arises, and then if he's not mindful, then he says, oh, that's interesting, I'm going to watch this woman, and looks at the detail, how she walks, how she talks, how she looks like, and so on. And those are the details. So here, in other words, the true practitioner will at once just look down or look at something else that is wholesome, totally let's go of the nimitta, the sign, straight away, without waiting to see the details. This often happens to us lay people when we go to the supermarket. When you look at all those rows and stacks of products, they tend to be eye-catching, colorful, beautiful design, beautiful shapes. So that's the first thing that tries to attract us. That's called the nimitta. That's the signs. The moment the sign catches our eye, we say, oh, what's this? And then you examine the details. You look at the label, you look at the shape, you smell it, you touch it, and even you might even try. Notice often there are sales reps there who will tell you, come, sir, come, madam, try this. Why don't you try this new product? That's the whole idea, is to sell you all these things to excite your senses. So here, in the case of the practitioner, especially when we're on retreat, we do not want to be distracted, right? So we switch off our handphones, we dress simply, we eat simple, we do not read newspapers, we are totally focused. Even when we look, we do not get distracted by what we see. What we see, there is just seeing. That's another way we overcome distraction. There is just seeing, we objectify. Nothing more, nothing less, just seeing, and then we let it go. We hear a sound, right? The section says, when he hears a sound with the ear, he grasps neither its sign nor its details. So long as he dwell unrestrained in that eye faculty, bad, unwholesome states of covetousness and displeasure might overwhelm him. To that extent, he therefore keeps himself restrained. He practices the restraint of it, he guards the restraint of the ear faculty. He commits himself to the restraint of the ear faculty. Notice here, it says, if you're not mindful, you dwell unrestrained in the ear faculty, bad, unwholesome state of covetousness and displeasure might overwhelm you. In other words, let's say you hear music when you're meditating, some neighbors play music and you could hear it, you start thinking about it, then negative thoughts arise and you get distracted. That's the meaning here. So we quickly move away from that area, or just objectify, filter it away, as we say. It's just sound, let it go. We go into deeper meditation. And same thing with smells. We find sometimes people offer incense, very fragrant incense. We don't say, wow, this is very nice. We just say, smell. Okay? If it's nice, we just let it be. We just go on with our meditation. We do not evaluate it, we do not try to intensify the pleasure of it or dislike of it for that matter. We just let go of that. It's just smell, identify it, accept it, let it go. Same thing with taste when we are eating, right? Like we're chewing. It's a very interesting experiment. Right? You notice when you go for retreats, everyone eat the same food, and it's all the same food anyway, and the food all very simple, and we also eat very few meals a day. In some strict retreats, only one meal a day. Other retreats, maybe just basic meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some people are very strict, they just stick to these 3 meals. Of course, some may drink, or usually there might be only 2 meals, breakfast and lunch. Evening there might be drinks. So, but when we are eating in a retreat, we eat mindfully, and everyone eats the same thing. So, for example, we might not like eating certain types of vegetable, we still take it. We don't set aside this unless we are allergic to it, or for some reason we can't take it. But I've heard a story where someone had thought he had bad gastritis, so when he went on retreat, perhaps he may have to take food. But when he went for the retreat, he was surprised that he actually felt good and his stomach was okay, was well, and he could keep the precepts of what is called restraint of food, not taking food during the wrong hours. In other words, taking food only breakfast and lunch. So here, restraint of taste. In the restraint of taste, meditators would chew the food mindfully and then just swallow it mindfully. So when the meditator does this, the food tastes, the food has taste. It's just taste of food, nothing else. We don't say this taste of this vegetable or taste of that. We just say taste, that's all. And the next is touch. Here sometimes warm, sometimes cold, right? Of course, it doesn't mean you just simply tolerate the cold. It's not easy. We keep ourselves as warm as possible, as comfortable as possible, not too much, but in a balance. In fact, in meditation, you notice if it's really cold, it's easier to meditate rather than when it's very warm. So if the weather is very cold, we cover ourselves with a blanket, and then that's quite warm enough, and we just sit and meditate. And the body produces some kind of its own heat, and while we're meditating, we feel quite comfortable. As long as you're focused, you'll feel comfortable. Otherwise, we simply reflect on the feeling, the discomfort as feeling, as long as we are sitting in meditation, that is. So these are ways of overcoming distractions from the five senses. The sixth one is the mind. When he cognizes a mind object with the mind, he grasps neither its sign nor its details. So here, while you're meditating, a thought comes. Maybe the mind says, "Oh, I don't think I can meditate. I'm going to go home tomorrow." It's just a thought. We are distracted. So we just say, it's just a thought. We don't follow it. Because if you start engaging in those thoughts, one thought to another, start thinking why you want to go back, what you miss at home, then you will definitely give up the training. So here it's the thought. We just let go of the thought. We do not follow it, we do not build it up. So that's the meaning of we grasp neither the sign nor its details. The moment the thought comes, you simply note it as thinking. It's just a thought. Smile at it, show loving kindness to it, let it go. So this is the practice of guarding the mind, guarding the senses, guarding yourself in a spiritual way. Now the fourth quality is that of a forbearer, section 13. And how bhikshus is among a forbearer? Here bhikshus among bears, heat, cold, hunger, thirst, the touch of mosquitoes, flies, the wind, the sun, and creeping creatures. Okay, this is more like physical discomfort. He endures the ways of words ill-spoken, unwelcome. And here is social discomfort. Sometimes people say nasty things. And the reason bodily feelings that are painful, racking, sharp, piercing, repugnant, disagreeable, deadly, physical pain, physical distractions. So the monk forbears all this, bears all this patiently, right? So physical discomfort, verbal discomfort, and also internal bodily discomfort, external discomfort, internal discomfort, and verbal discomfort. And the last quality, the monk or the practitioner is a goer. And how bhikshus is the monk a goer? Here bhikshus among arrives in those quarters where in this long journey he has never been before. That is to say, the stealing of all formations, relinquishing of all substrates or acquisitions, the destruction of craving, the fading away of lust, the fading away of suffering, nirvana. He quickly himself arrives at this. Thus, bhikshus is the monk a goer. Here it means we are determined to gain some level of excellence. In other words, one of the stages of sainthood. Of course, for lay people, at least stream winning. So this is a very sensible aspiration, because if we don't, what sort of rebirth will we get in the next life? you're not a saint, so you're going to be reborn as a human being, go through all the suffering again. In fact, if you have wrong views, and today you find there are chances of wrong views is very common. When you listen to a so-called Buddhist talk, 90% probably you hear there are wrong views. There's some teachings which are totally different from what the Buddha has taught. So you can't really practice what has been taught by the Buddha to calm your mind, to let go of views and so on. So if you have wrong views, then the rebirth will be among animals. The view of the crowd, being carried away by the idea of self, identifying with a group, having all kinds of doubts, and looking for external succor and external help, getting caught up in rituals, vows and rituals, silapata paramasa, and so on. So this sort of practice will lead us into the animal world, but it's a routine kind of behavior. And if we teach others, and they believe in it, and they follow, then we're creating ourselves a very hellish future, because we're making more people suffer. So it's not a very pleasant thing to have wrong views, in other words. So here, the idea is to reflect on impermanence as much as possible, so that we are not caught up with the world. Even if nasty things happen to us, we say this is impermanent, and we just let go of it. We feel happy in that sense, in that way. So here, of course, we have a list of stages of awakening, stealing of all formations. In other words, all our activities of body, speech, and mind are calm, without any defilement. We don't create any more defilement that will fetter us to the world. So craving is gone. When craving is gone, then lust is also gone. Craving is the running after things, and lust is the thought behind it. And then if we overcome lust, and suffering also is overcome. And then ending of suffering is of course nirvana. And we have arrived. We have arrived at the goal. Okay, so this is practitioner, scholar, Goa, whether you're a monk or a layman. So these are the 5 qualities. So the Buddha closes the sutta by saying, among bhikshus who possesses these 5 qualities is worthy of offerings, worthy of hospitality, worthy of gifts, worthy of salutation with the lotus palms, a supreme field of merit for the world. Of course, when we put our palms together, we do it to everyone, even to unworthy monks, unworthy people. Because when we do this, we are reminding the other party, I'm bowing down to you, because there is this wonderful potential, this ability in you that you can become better, you can change, right? So that's one meaning of putting palms together. But when we bow to someone who's really worthy, then we bow and we reflect, this person is so wonderful, he's a practitioner, he's very peaceful. I would like to be like this person, like Asaji. When Sariputta saw Asaji, I would like to emulate this wonderful, peaceful monk. I too want to be peaceful like this person. And we put our palms together in that sense, because we feel that our own potential and ability to attain this spiritual level of calmness. So it goes 2 ways in this sense. It's not any acknowledgement of status or power and so on. So this sutta is a very wonderful teaching to reflect on, to remind us what we should do as a practitioner, whether as a renunciant or as a lay person. Let us close with a short reflection. Whether we are a renunciant or we are a lay practitioner, the suttas always ready to teach us how to advance further, higher, nearer to awakening. As long as we mindfully spend some time with the suttas, we become wiser, we become stronger, more confident in our direction. The suttas bring us joy, and joy is a very wonderful energy to move us onward in our practice. Reflecting in this way is wonderful good karma. But about such good karma, may we be blessed with courage and wisdom to aspire to attain at least stream winning in this life. By this very same token, that above the three jewels and all the good things we have done, may all the beings here be well and happy. May all those people who have been kind to us, our loved ones, our friends, our relatives, may they be well and happy too. May all those who are seeking the Dhamma to be blessed with a quick awakening. May those who have lost their way or whom the Dhamma is yet to touch, may they, in this life itself, quickly see the Dhamma too. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.